Good morning, it's 9 AM here in the UK, and I usually do these videos in the evening before I finish for the day, but we had a mental toughness session last night for our trading group, and by the time we finished I just wanted to shut my computer down. I've been on the machine for almost 12 hours, so long day. Unfortunately, that's the issue when you're working from the UK. You've got the day behind you before you start trading. And anyway, I just want to recap my trades for today and for yesterday even. I overtraded. It was a red day in the end. Disappointing day. Shouldn't have been red because at one point I was actually green, and I'll just go into that now. So on my screen is the 5-minute chart for ES or MES, and for the last few weeks I've had a long bias. I'm playing the trend, and to go to the daily quickly so you can see where we are. And you can see we've had this big powerful uptrend move, and even when we had this first red bar after about 10 candles, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, the 9th candle, I even said then I'm still long bias until we break down and put in a lower low. And I even made money going long on this day as well. In fact, I've had my first red day for a long time, one at the beginning of the month and another one today, so not bad. 2 red days in 2 weeks. But I definitely overtraded yesterday quite badly, and not as bad as usually. I went on till a revenge trade, and for some reason I was adamant we're going to get to that trend line or 4,500, which is this area here, and I was adamant we were going to reject from both of them, and I was playing my emotions, not playing the chart. And I may have even said at one point we had this 3-bar play setting up, and that would have been a great long play, but I ignored that. We had the big CPI number that brought us up into the trend line, and I was expecting a rejection down, so I went in with a short bias mind, and it wasn't a great way to start the day. So going back to the 5-minute chart, sorry, let's go back to daily again. Let's look at the volume as well. So we had this small narrow range bar, and we had below average volume, and then we had yesterday's big wide range bar, and we didn't have much more volume. So it's a tough one. I don't know how long we can sustain this uptrend. You know, we should get a pullback, a decent pullback at some point. We've got an area to watch up here, which I can discuss in today's pre-market levels, and we've obviously got all-time highs as well. And if you look at NASDAQ, that's even closer to all-time highs. Let's look at the daily. Look at that. It's not. So we're close to the July highs, and it's about the same really. And we've got all-time highs in sight, put it that way. So another run like this, and we would be breaking all-time highs. So whatever the CPI number was yesterday, the market liked it, and so we kind of well, I kind of had a bit of a bias because I wanted to see it come up and reject this daily level here and reject 4,500, which is a nice round number as well. So that was plain emotions, not too good really. So 5-minute chart, let's just go over my trades. It's just going to be a brief one today because I didn't really analyse volume, I didn't look at level too much, and all I did is just thought these are the levels I wanted to get. So this is the 8:30 data drop we had, big bar, and you can see it came into the trend line, so I was already short bias at that point. And 9:30 came in, and lo and behold, I made my first trade off of that first red candle there. No, in fact, it wasn't that one, it was the next candle, because it was 9:31 was my first trade. So talk about not letting the market find a direction. I was straight in short, and it was in the green for a bit, and it couldn't break through this 8, and I ended up stopping out. And then I went short again green a bit, ended up stopping out. And there's a recurrent pattern here. I think I got in again here and couldn't get anywhere near. I saw the topping tail and I didn't get in with confirmation, and again I ended up stopping out. Then I eventually did get in up here, and this was my level which I set in the pre-market video. Big volume point of control area, this red line, and also 4407, 4507, 4508 was the area I was watching for a reject. And again, I was in there. I layered in a little bit more than I wanted to as well, because this is revenge trading now. This should have been my first trade of the day, and I think it was my 5th trade by that point. And again, I was in the green, and because I had these losses along here, I was holding because I wanted to come back down to VWAP. I really wanted to get down to the top of this data candle because of my theory, which I need to fully verify. But generally, the data candle has significance because we've got algos or sitting around those levels, and you can see it kind of played that area before it broke out, and I was expecting it to come back down at least to test that area, or at least test the VWAP, or what I really had in my mindset was testing the 50% of this data candle, and you can see it was strong all day. So I came in, didn't take any profit at all, and I think I was loaded up on shares at this point. Came back in and stopped myself out. I think my stop was around here. I was adding on this trade as well. I was adding to a losing position. You know, I added when it come back for what I was hoping for a double top, and I used the word I was hoping for a double top because I was trading emotion, wasn't trading the chart or trading the volume. And volume, you can see, is incrementing volume here, and I was trying to go short here, so it was showing that there was strength, and I wasn't even looking at this. Had I just taken a glance, I didn't even look at a higher time frame. I was so focused on the 5 minute, I was almost trading like that, thinking, oh, that's a short, look at that candle, it's a short. But it wasn't good enough trading, and I paid the price. So I was down quite a bit by the time we got up to here. So my first green trade was about 7 trades later. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, the 7th and 8th trade were the two where I made. So I'll go through this trade first. I saw this little mini head and shoulders pattern setting up. It wasn't great. Wasn't really a neckline or as such, but I loaded up on this candle, and I loaded up every time we pulled back. Loaded up there, and it ran down, and it came to my level. I took profit at my level because I was expecting it to bounce over that level because it rejected it earlier, and I took profits off, and I was down to the last couple of contracts. I loaded up. I had quite a few, I oversized up here, and I was uncomfortable. While I was waiting for it, I was in an uncomfortable position because I was way over my maximum daily loss allowance, and the only reason I was happy to hold and I loaded up was because on the level 2 we had lots and lots of limit orders sitting up here, sell limit orders, and I think there was about 900 or so, and that's quite a high, and it's creating this wall, and you know, I can't say I don't think it was going to crack, but generally when I see this big wall of sellers, and you know, it's not like the 200s and the 300s, it was, I think I saw 400, another 400, another 300 over a period of 3 or 4 ticks. So it was a big wall to crack, and that was the only time I used my, apart from that one, was my level. That worked. If I scalped that level, even though we're in an uptrend, I would have been okay. I could have walked for the day, but no, I tried going short. And the obvious one, the break and retest of pre-market high, it broke, come back down. You could say this was the break of pre-market high, and this was the retest, and I totally ignored it because I was biased. I wanted to go short, and that was it. And I also have a plan every day as well. So my plan normally looks a bit like, let's go to my calendar, I'll show you. So this is my plan every day. I normally have a plan, and I go with a pre-market game plan, what I'm looking for, scenarios, what I'm waiting for. So I'm well prepared, well in advance. And then if I go to, here's my plan, empty, and that's exactly how I left it. So anyway, it was a big losing day for me, but I made it back at the end through overtrading, which I'm going to go back through in a second. So anyway, no plan, I didn't write it down, I was biased, I was overtrading,
and the obvious trade, that one there, the rejection should have been a profitable. Maybe I should have walked at that point, because this is less riskier, this trade, because we were quite, we were half an hour into the trade, so I could have loaded up with a few contracts up here, just took some off, whatever, and then take out the others off, break even. But I was adding and I was adding, and by the time, I think that pivot was what took me out. I think this pivot also took me out of one of the trades. So this is a big loss. This is a big loss for me. I kind of trying to short into strength, but not adamant to walk. I was still looking to short, so I was heavily in up here as well. I was short. I had quite a few contracts in that level, a couple in there, and a couple when it pulled back here as well. So, and then it came down. I took some profit. Again, I should have scalped the first bit, but I didn't, because I wanted to hold. I wanted to regain my losses, and I took some off there, took a few off there, and I had a couple of contracts left, and it came back, and I held, and I held, and it saw this pivot. I held, and then by the time I held, it came back down, and I was green at this point. I was green, quite healthily green, but I didn't take profit. I was adamant I wanted VWAP or this grey line, which is the top of this pre-market candle, this CPI candle, and I held, and I should have seen these double bottom tails as well, and I didn't take off. I should have taken profit off. There I was well green. Just up here I was about break even, and then by the time it came up, I thought, maybe it's a double top. We were putting in a bit of a descending wedge pattern, if you put the lines together, or descending downtrend. I thought we might have been seeing something like that coming down, but I didn't trade the chart. Again, I traded what I thought and my emotions, and that should have been my out there, and I let it come all the way back, and I eventually stopped out here, break even. And so I was down, so I was green there, I was green break evenish there as well, so I should have been out and I should have been walking, but I didn't. So finally then, when the market came in, I was watching this area again. 45.20 wasn't really an area I was watching for. I just knew end of the day, and so I loaded up again. Not too many this time, but I was in at power hour, the last hour of the day, short again, thinking, we must have a bit of a pullback. And then I held. I didn't take any profit. I held. I even held through the imbalances at 10.2, which was a good move down, and I did take profits down there, and then the last one down. So my day, basically all the gains from Monday were wiped out by today. But had I not overtraded, I would have had losses, which would have been about a week's worth of losses from this bad trading. So today I need to get better. I'm gonna need to prepare soon. I was a bit distracted yesterday, and I didn't write my plan down, and I didn't have a game plan really. Not one. It's all in my head, not actually written down. So today I'm gonna come up with a game plan. I'll write it down before I do my pre-market video, like I always do. And funny how, when I always write my plan down, I normally have a green day. Days I don't, I get sloppy. Days I have red days, and that was it really. So still looking strong for today. This is what time is it? It's 4 AM Eastern time at the moment. Tightening up the range. Not sure how we can sustain this uptrend. Like I said, we are due a big rejection, and we've got another trend line to watch as well. So now this one's broken, we can get rid of that. Don't need that now. And we've got this trend line, which is the weekly or the daily one, and it's from all-time highs. Let me just readjust that. I think that's based on the daily. I won't change that. So that area. So we potentially got 4,600 as the next target, and it happens to be pretty close to where the trend line happens to be. So that's another area to watch for. And again, if I take it, it's going to have to be with confirmation, not just take it willy-nilly, because we saw what happened at 4,500, 4,400, it just blew through all these levels. 4,200, it blew through that level. 44, 43, and now we're coming up to 4,600. But we can't sustain this big move up. And look at the size of the candles we've had. Big candle there, and volume-wise, let's analyze it quickly. Decline in volume as well. So, well, we're ignoring this week. We don't know how this week's going to end, but we've already got a bigger candle than last week, and our volume we're halfway through the week and the volume's lower. So we've got lots of news today as well, which I'll discuss in my pre-market video later. Potentially we may see a push up. I'm looking again, I'm playing emotion. This is volume analysis now. So we've got the big candle and its decline in volume, and I've been saying this on the daily as well, it's got to pull back, and I don't want to get stuck in that trap where I'm trying to go bear. But declining volume is a sign of weakness in the weekly, so potentially we may see a pullback. We have to see a pullback because this is a big move up. And if you look at any other weeks when we've seen three weeks in a row, big candles here, but that entire move is no more than what we've had in the last 2.5 weeks. And even when we had all-time highs, smaller candles, this move here, funny, let's look at that. Last time we had 3 candles in a row, we started there, look at that, same as there, and we finished there. Will we finish there again? We'll see. So potentially, let's look at the volume for that week. Below average, below average, below average. Look at this, below average, and still going this week way below average at the moment. So potentially we've got that pivot, and we could be seeing this same setup again. Big candle, smaller candle, and then similar size candle. So let's see how we get on. But that's how we're looking. You know, that's the last time we saw 3 weak candles, similar size move as well, and we started in the same place. And are we going to end in the same place? We'll find out. Right, thank you for watching. Red day, room for improvement. I need to stop the overtrading. I took 18 trades today, and that doesn't include my ads or my that's just 18 separate individual trades, and I obviously added normally to a losing position in most of those trades. But in all those trades I added to a losing position. It's funny how you're in a losing position and it's easier to add to your loser than it is to add to your winner. So here, when I was on this one here, I saw this GBI and I remarked to some other traders in our trading room, and there's a GBI setting up. I'm thinking on the 2-minute it was even better, and that should have been an add, but I was in far too heavy and I just didn't want to add. But here, look at that RBI, you could have easily taken that RBI. That's a beautiful trade. I know it might be just before the market opened. If I took every pullback on that uptrend, could have got that stop was there. That's your defined stop. That's an easy 3R move, that one. It's obvious in hindsight, I know, but got to be better at this. You know, trading's difficult. It's been one of the most difficult things I've ever done, and I'm still learning. But I'm going to go back now and I'm going to undo my empty journal for yesterday, and I'm going to add in the notes. And because I've taken 18 trades, I'm going to document every single trade. It's going to be painful, very painful, but I'm going to do it because that's my way of dealing with my overtrading. If I have to tag and comment on every trade, then I don't want to be doing that every day. So hopefully back down to 1 or 2 trades again today. That's what I'm looking for. Anyway, thanks for watching, and speak to some of you a bit later. Okay, hopefully you also had a good day trading as well, better than mine. Take care.